Of people gathered to hear Barack Obama deliver key foreign policy speech on his current European tour. The Democratic presidential hopeful laid out his vision for America's place in a new world order, saying he was speaking as a proud citizen of the United States and a fellow citizen of the world.
Thanks for tuning in, folks. Deadline Live, American Freedom Radio. I'm Jack Blood, your radio gun. Tomorrow's program, our friends over at the 10th Amendment Center.com will join us today. It is Jerome Corsi from World Net Daily and Red Alert, a newsletter, author of many, many books. Jerry, thanks for staying the entire hour with us. I do appreciate it, and we have you on the record regarding Iran. You have written about Soros supporting the mullahs in Iran, which starts to make a lot of sense to me.
Well, and, I've written extensively about Soros, but the point I want to make clear, I'm writing for myself and WorldNet Daily, where I'm a senior staff reporter. When I write about Iran, I close the Iran Freedom Foundation. That's done. It's been done for years, and I don't endorse or support or speak for any of the various Iranian freedom organizations.
You didn't have a horse in the race with that Iranian revolution that allegedly popped up?
I wanted to see the revolution succeed. I wanted to see the...
But not under Madavi.
Well, look, if there was going to be a change of the regime, Mossavi is also a guy who has a very checkered past going back into the 80s when we were attacked in Lebanon with the suicide bombers, the Marine barracks, going back to the war between Iran and Iraq. He was by no means a progressive or a positive influence long term. But what would be a positive influence is if the young people of Iran could affect more freedom and have free elections in Iran, and I was definitely for that. I thought President Obama did a very poor job of responding.
It looks to me like they like Ahmadinejad in place because he's a good boogeyman to have.
Well, also they came in with an agenda to negotiate with Ahmadinejad, and Barack Obama thought, that he could charm him or whatever, which is a ridiculous idea. Now, I just spent 3 weeks in Israel, and I have a book coming out. It'll be an electronic book from Simon & Schuster, and it's called Why Israel Cannot Wait. And it's going to be a coming war with Israel and Iran. Now, I've said since 2005, I'm opposed to a war with Iran. I think it'd be the worst possible of all policy alternatives. But if Iran is not stopped from pursuing nuclear weapons, what I'm predicting is that, and predicting it based on conversations and interviews with the top leaders in Israel, is that Israel is not going to sit there and wait for the rest of the world.
No, they're demonstrating against Barry on the streets over there and doing war drills in order to attack. I don't want that either.
I don't want it either. I think it would be, and I say, in fact, I'm writing the book, Why Israel Can't Wait. And Israel worked with me to write the book, knowing that, I'm one of the Obama administration's top opponents.
Who in Israel worked with you on that?
All the way through. I met with Peres. I met with Netanyahu. I had an hour-long recorded interview with General Yalon, who's the vice prime minister. I had top access to the top Israeli government officials. And in this book, which will be out at the end of August, I'm reporting what they're saying and what their concerns are about the United States policy and where Iran is headed. And I'm telling you that at some point in the not-too-distant future, whether it's the end of this year or the beginning of next year, Iran is going to be in a very short period of time when they can produce a nuclear weapon. And Israel isn't going to sit there and let that happen with Ahmadinejad, again, another head of state, saying and threatening to annihilate Jews.
Well, it's the mullahs that make the decision, as you know, and
Ayatollah Khamenei.
I mean, he did say once, and I know he gets the interpretations are pretty rough for Ahmadinejad as we get them here in the United States, that it would be suicide if they ever did get a nuclear weapon to light it off. I mean, they'd be pounced on by the rest of the world.
Yeah, and then they do, and I've got the pictures and photographs where they hold their military parades with the Shahab 3 missile, and they put on the side of the missile display, missile carrying cases, the vehicles that carry the missiles. the slogans that Ahmadinejad said, including wiping Israel off the map.
Sure, and that's propaganda. I mean, Saddam Hussein let the world believe he had weapons of mass destruction before the invasion of Iraq in order to contain his neighbors and have them not pounce and attack him.
If Iran continues that propaganda, continues putting it on missiles, and develop nuclear weapons, Israel isn't going to sit there as a one-bomb state and take the risk.
What do you mean a one-bomb? What do you mean a one-bomb state?
In other words, one nuclear bomb dropped on Tel Aviv, even a low yield, would destroy the modern Jewish state as we know it. Tel Aviv is a small city. It's the business, the communications, a large part of the government center of Israel. Israel could not sustain one nuclear weapon detonated over Tel Aviv.
Well, I mean, they could be maybe a little more friendly, but that's a debate. I love to talk about this stuff with you because normally when you come on, we're talking about all this domestic stuff, Jerry, and I like to have these foreign policy debates because I think it's something that has just slipped off the radar screen since Bush and Cheney have gone out.
My book will be out at the end of August. Come back when the electronic book is out.
Yeah.
And we'll debate the issues. You'll be able to read the electronic book. We'll debate it thoroughly.
I see. But if Soros is supporting the mullahs, is he going to be supporting them to bomb Israel or the United States or Britain or something?
Soros, seems to support everybody. And
he doesn't support American sovereignty. I'm pretty sure of that.
Sovereignty. He supports anything that seems to cause chaos. And I think his idea of Karl Popper's open society is value relativism to the extreme where you just cause chaos all the time.
Soros, Brzezinski, and Kissinger, and Scowcroft. What an unholy alliance we have here. These are pretty big issues, folks.
These are big issues.
Attack to Africa, attack to arming and attacking Central America, more war in the Middle East. I guess that'll get our mind off our economic problems, Jerry.
Well, I think it's coming around, Jack. I think before the end of the year. I mean, I don't expect these issues of Barack Obama's birth certificate and the other documents to go away easily. But, right now, with the economic news and the popularity of Barack Obama plummeting, these are big issues. And I think issues, including Iran, are going to be big issues before the end of the year.
All right, much respect, Jerry, and I love having you on the show. I hope you keep coming back. Watch his stuff on WorldNetDaily.com, folks, and the Red Alert newsletter coming out of the WorldNet Daily. Jerome Corsi. Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate it.
Yeah, sure.
All right, folks, that wraps up another edition of Deadline Live, AmericanFreedomRadio.com. I believe the one and only Karen Kotowski back on Today Live, the former survivor of 9/11 at the Pentagon whistleblower, has some great guests and great commentary on her show. Stay tuned for that. Tomorrow we'll be back with the 10th Amendment Center and more news and information you're not supposed to know about. Stay bold, America, and mighty forces will come to your aid.